All right, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, fellow fishing accomplices, good morning and welcome back to fishing. So today is the last day of our late August, late summer flounder sea bass extravaganza, and I have to go back home out west today, but I figure I might as well try and get the incoming tide this morning. Got about 4 or 5 hours to fish depending on how things go, and I'm going to try my darndest to bring some more meat home. So really looking to hopefully get another limit of sea bass. And if you're thinking I'm overdoing it, I mean, just trust me, this fish is going to get eaten. Last winter, and I didn't even yield nearly as much meat last year, we were eating fish until probably February or March, fish that was frozen in the freezer throughout the season. So it is going to good use. It's not going to be wasted, but we're going to try and get on some meat while we have the opportunity, stack up some sea bass, some fluke, and anything else that might be biting. And if that does happen, I wouldn't just be feeling good, I would be feeling fishing accomplished. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Hey, we are rolling up on our first spot. We got incoming tide, which is great with not much wind, so we're just gonna get really tidal drifts. Whatever wind we do have is coming out of the south. It's not very strong, as you can see. It's pristine out here. A lot of bait in the water. And yeah, we're just gonna do what we've been doing. 1 ounce spurred bucktail to start things off. Pink Shine Gulp Grub 4-inch. And we're gonna fish with just that until we feel like we need to switch to the fat cow jig strip combo. When is that, you ask? Well, once that thing just keeps getting nipped off, the tail that is, to the point that it's wasting time, that's when we'll make the call. But until then, let's just get a lay of the land. I don't think we're moving too much yet. If we're not moving too much, we might even downgrade to a 3/4 ounce, but yeah, I'm getting little taps too. A lot of life down there. Not even over the spot that I'm looking to start, but there's a ton of bait. So we'll stick this out. All right, we're not moving much, so I'm gonna try this setup and throw a 3/4 ounce Spro bucktail on it. Go as light as we probably can get away with reasonably. Additionally, in that last drift, I wasn't even in that long. Gulp got munched off, so we will definitely be very careful not to stay down there too long if we don't have to. And if we're not getting bites, we reel right up, because we're not wasting any time, you know, waiting for fish that aren't going to bite when there's nothing on there for them to bite. And if that keeps happening, we're going to do the jig strip combo. That was another instant drop with instant tail nip, so we're going to try the jigging strip, and this is a pink one to match the profile. Move a little bit more onto the structure. Starting to get a little bit of a drift now, which is nice. Not a great drift, but we're moving, which is important. A lot of sea bass down there, I'm guessing. I was able to almost burn one up the mid-water column the last drift. Let's see if we can get him this time. Once this tide starts moving a little bit more, we're gonna go back to 1 ounce. Here we go. That's not a bad fish. It's a fluke, I think. It's got some weight. How great would it be to start with a keeper fluke today? I think it's definitely a good fluke. Good fluke. Oh yeah, that's coming home with us. That's a nice start. 20-incher thereabouts. Just spit the hook too, that's why we netted him. Yeah, that should have no problem keeping. As long as we can keep him in the boat. 19.5. Heck yeah, you're going home with us. All right, that's how you start a session right there. Let's get him a stringer buddy and eventually a cooler buddy. Day so far, and tide is only going to improve, at least for the next few hours before it gets worse. See if we can get some more. Another nice fish. I think it's a sea bass. Could be all right, but I don't think he's huge. Yeah, we don't need to keep him. Be close. It's a little short, like a 14-ish incher, maybe 15. Even though we got a short sea bass in the last drift, but it's about time to up to a 1 ounce. We're definitely losing the bottom with the 3/4, so, and we're only going to go up from here until the tide peaks. So let's see what we can do with the 1 ounce. Go over that same general drift area. Other big difference is we're now fishing a white presentation as opposed to pink, which I don't think should be too much of a problem. That's a sea bass. Not big. He wasn't that big, so it's not that big a deal. It's already back on it. Dropped it back down with the line go slack, and there he was. Very aggressive fish. That's a keeper, but we're not taking him. Maybe a little short, I don't know. Either way, same outcome. Okay, just got a sub keeper size sea bass in the last drift. Not very big, but encouraging to keep on the action. Okay, I'm willing to give this spot 2 more drifts for the time being. I'll hit it up on the way out if I got time, but I don't want to throw all my eggs in the basket of this spot because it can be very good and not so great sometimes. And we already got a keeper fluke. I don't want to just abandon all other spots just for that one fish, because there's definitely some other fishy areas around here. Come on. Here he is. Good fish. Good fish. Good fish. Whatever it is, it's coming home with us. We can get him. Good sea bass, I bet. Yeah, we might have to do this drift again. Big sea bass, I bet. Big sea bass. Could be a fluke, but I seriously doubt it. It's definitely a sea bass. Big. Nice. Yes, indeed. Damn, that's a tank. Yeah, we'll do that drift again. That's 1 down. Solid, it's at least 20 inches. Very fat too. Be a little measure-rooney. About 21. Yes, indeed. Solid sea bass to start off our sea bass action. 21 incher, probably pushing 4 pounds. Just been sea bass central this whole trip. All right, let's get him stringed up. We've got our second fish to come home with us. I think it's time to celebrate. And what better way, as always, with a little seltzer review of the day. So this is Schweppes, and I'm a big fan of Schweppes. I think I did lemon lime earlier, and that was really tasty. This, however, is black cherry. And I guess they changed up their design, or it's saying premium. So we'll take their word for it that this is a premium seltzer. But I thought this was fitting today because this new design kind of looks like fish scales. So, oh yeah, I like black cherry seltzer. I don't like the berry stuff so much, but black cherry is definitely something that I gravitate towards. And with gravitation, I hope you gravitate towards this channel in the future. While you're here, please hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, drop a sub. Always happy to pick up new viewers. But if that's not your thing, no sweat. Thanks for just making it this far. See if we can get some more action. I did say I'd work this drift until it stopped yielding, and we got that sea bass. So we'll give it at least one more drift and see how it goes. If we get some nice hits or another fish, we'll consider doing it again. But I don't necessarily want to get stuck here. There's some other spots I definitely want to check out. Okay, we had a good run with that first spot, but I want to do a little exploring. I want to hit up a few spots. I do want to hit up the area that I fished last time with Jim and Peter, but I want to hit up a few areas on the way there. You know, good to mix things up a little bit, and there could be some really nice fish there because it's a little bit slower on that first spot. So let's check it out. About to go over some really nice looking bottom over here, if I'm not mistaken, at least according to Navionics. Here we go. Knew something that had to be down there. I feel terrible. I think it's a fluke. And sea bass or sea robin. Sea bass. It's crazy when I've caught way more sea bass than sea robins during this entire trip. It's not even been close. All right, let's do that again with a slightly different trajectory. Just got another sea bass in that last drift. A lot of good structure here. It's not as dramatic as in the last spot, but it's sparse, which could be good for perhaps more of a fluke bite. So let's try that again with a slightly different trajectory. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. That's a fluke. Definite fluke. Could be all right. Doesn't feel huge, but it could be a keeper. Feels got some good head shakes. This can go either way. I don't think he's that big, but I don't know. He's going back and forth. No, darn it. Well, he wasn't huge. That's the good news. Bad news is he probably was flirting with being a keeper. We had him up close too. Get it all the way back down. Who knows? Maybe it'll come back. I seriously doubt it. Sometimes they come back, but I doubt it. Try one more run through this spot. This is a lackluster drift. We'll keep moving away to our next deeper spot. But if it's good, I'll give it another shot. Okay, last major spot we're going to investigate today. We might hit up our first spot again on the way out. We'll see how we're feeling and what we do here. If we do really well, we'll just forget it. But yeah, let's see if we can get our last sea bass and hopefully a good fluke or two as well for good measure. Surprised I'm holding with 1 ounce pretty well. I think we got like another hour and a half of incoming, and that might be as much as we fish. Once it goes slack, I'm done. Gotta drive back out west. Over this structure just right. Get a good feel for this drift. It's deep, so gotta time it and place it just at the right angle. Okay, bite seems to be slowing it down. The bite seems to be slowing down a little bit, as is the tide. So I'm going to switch back to just a regular gulp rub on the bottom of this 1 ounce Spro bucktail. Let's see if we can make this work. Got something. It's a fluke. I don't think he's that big. But it's good to have some signs of life because it's been fairly tough. It's picking up a little weight. I'll be surprised if this thing is sub-keeper size. Nah. Well, at least we didn't come here for nothing. One last good drift to this spot. If nothing, we'll start making our way back to launch. Hit up at least one more spot though. It is peak tide and I know where I can maybe find a good fish if things are just right. There we go. Might be our third sea bass. Feels a little more like a fluke though. That's a fluke. Definite fluke. I don't think he's big enough, but we'll find out soon. He's really lightening up. Even if it's close, but I don't need them. It's probably like 17.5. Just got another short fluke. It's a good sign, though. We're gonna need a little bit more than that to make us want to stay here. Finish that drift off. Runs this spot and I'll be content. Let's see if we can close out our sea bass or pick up another fluke or find something entirely different. I don't even care. But we got peak tide right now and it's not moving much, and the wind started to pick up, so I'm gonna have to use our legs a little bit, but that's fine. We haven't had to do much at all today so far. There he is. There he is. That's something nice. That alone will make it worth it. It's a fluke. He doesn't feel that big anymore. Really lightening up. Try again. Got another short fluke. If that's down there, there should be something a little bigger. Let's hope. Ton of bait down there. If you stay close to the structure. Nothing. I'd like to get one more sea bass, but I'm happy to get anything, especially if it's keeper size. Okay, I think that's about going to do it for our Montauk Summer August finale. Pretty good time. Not quite as fast and furious as the last two sessions, but we're leaving with 2 good sea bass and a fluke, so that's definitely pretty legit. I think if we were able to stick it out for a little bit longer and work the outgoing tide, we probably could have cleaned up the full sea bass limit, but I got to get out of here. I got to get ahead of the traffic that's going to inevitably build in the latter half of the day, and got to clean these fish and do some other responsibilities as well. So that is going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this little change of pace. I'll probably be back out here in September if things go according to plan towards the back end, last week or so of fluke season, and hopefully that'll be when we can stick another giant, but we'll see what happens. So that's gonna do it. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, etc. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye from Fishin.